Have you ever wondered how financial experts manage their money? Well, today I'm going to share with you 10 game-changing money rules from a professional certified financial advisor. But stick around because I'm going to give you the tips and tricks so you can build wealth like a pro. The following rules are my rules that I have created. They are in a note on my phone. They are starred as favorites. These are my rules that I follow in my life. They took a long time for me to create these rules, and a lot of thought and effort has gone into these rules, but I follow these rules as a principle in my own life. So rule number one is have unlimited spending on education, courses, and books. Unlimited spending. Do not put a cap on this. If you see a book, a course, or education, or a skill, or certification that you can obtain, do not put a price on that. Go ahead and go and get it. Do not think about it. Do not take your time with it. The value that you will get from that is unreal. I must admit that the world is kind of changing now. The world is changing because previously you used to get your certification from college and schools. But I must admit, when it comes to YouTube itself, I have gained so much knowledge from YouTube. It is unreal. I've gained so much knowledge from books and courses that I've done online than I've ever learned through public school, high school, college, university. I've acquired so much more knowledge from YouTube courses and books than I ever did from schools and the traditional educational system. So be cautious when it comes to it. You might be looking at a course or a book or something like that and think, is this a scam? When it's online, is it a scam? This is because it's not traditional learning. Now, it might be a scam. I don't know. It might be. Do some research. See if someone has put a review of that particular course online. That will tell you, do they think it's worth it? Was it worth it? Do a little bit of research. It's probably not a scam, and the odds are you're probably going to learn a lot from that book or course. So rule number one is have unlimited spending on books, education, and courses. Step number two, I've told you before that a minimum of 10% is yours to keep. However, I'm not telling you your rules or your roadmap. I am telling you my rules today. I'm the certified financial planner, and you've clicked on this video wanting to know my rules, my steps, what I do with my money. So for me, a minimum of 20% of all I earn is mine to keep. I'll go even further and tell you specifically exactly how much percentage of my money, my income that I keep when it comes to payday. I keep 44.6% of my income, and it is saved and invested on payday. I treat it as a goal. At first I started at 10%. I worked my way up to 20%, a little bit at a time, and now I am at 44.6% saving rate, and I intend for that to increase. At this point, I do not want to diminish my lifestyle anymore. If I can make savings from reducing interest and things like that, absolutely I'll do it, and I'll save that money because that does not change my life. I'm not making any more cutbacks on my life. I've saved as much as I possibly can. I've lived as frugally as I possibly can. Now it's time to increase my income. The increased income that I receive going forward will top up that saving rate. The saving rate is huge when it comes to financial independence and retiring early. The saving rate is the single biggest thing that you can do to retire early. You can go out and make more money here and there, but it's how much you save. That is the biggest thing that will help you live a rich and fulfilling life. So my personal goal is 20%. My actual target that I'm hitting right now is 44.6% saving rate on a monthly basis. So 44.6% of the money that comes into my household every single month is saved and invested. That's how it works from a certified financial planner. That is what I do. Rule number three, as a certified financial planner, is to increase your pension contributions. Up it to the maximum that your employer will pay you, the maximum that your employer will match for you. I intend to do this for the rest of my life. Wherever I go, if I ever go to an interview or ever get an employment, I ask what is the maximum pension contribution match that I can input, and I want to input it from day one. You must stay consistent and keep doing this. You must keep matching your pension to the maximum that your employer can pay. If you do not do this, you are missing out on free money. You might think I'm just using that as blasé. There is money on the table for you to take, and you're not taking it. If you do not increase your pension contribution to the maximum that your employer will match, you don't get to take that money on the table. It is free money that you're missing out on. So up your pension contribution to the maximum that your employer will match for you. That is a rule that I follow as a certified financial planner. Rule number 4, and it is max out your tax wrappers. Whatever country you are from, you may have some, you may not. In the UK, we have the individual savings accounts, the ISAs. In 2024, each individual is allowed to save £20,000 into a stocks and shares ISA or a cash ISA. Go for the stocks and shares. Trust me, you are allowed to save £20,000 per person. So if you're a couple, that's £40,000. You are allowed to save that. You should be maxing this out as much as possible. Now, that may not be possible for everyone depending how much income you receive, but you should max this out as much as possible. The money I mentioned to you about the savings rate, the saving and investing, the 20% of all I earn is mine to keep, and myself, the 44.6% of my income goes into an ISA. It is a tax wrapper. It is like a bank account. It's the same thing as a bank account, but it has terms and conditions wrapped around it. Remember, tax wrapper around it. Tax wrappers are terms and conditions. There are limitations to it. For example, you cannot put more than £20,000 into it and have that tax free. They're not bad, these terms and conditions. They're actually really good. These terms and conditions are to your benefit, however, they are limited. So put your money into a tax wrapper. In the UK, it's an ISA. In other countries, it's something else. So just Google what is the equivalent of an ISA in your country and put your money into that tax wrapper so you can grow your money tax-free. You won't have capital gains tax, dividends tax, tax on your interest. You won't have any tax to pay in this tax wrapper. The money that you save, the 10%, 20%, 45.6%, the money that you save every single month, put it into a tax wrapper, into a stocks and shares tax wrapper, start investing it and have that money grow for you in the background. That is another rule that I follow as a certified financial planner, upping the maximum contribution I can possibly afford to do into my tax wrapper. Rule number 5 is have a 6-month emergency fund. Some people might want to tell you that this all needs to be in liquid cash. I do not believe that this is the case. My 6 months emergency fund is £1,000 in liquid cash, money in the bank that I can withdraw at any point in case of emergency. The remainder of the 6 months emergency fund that I have is in my stocks and shares ISA. You might think that it's really hard to withdraw from stocks and shares in an ISA and get that money into your account. I have done this several times and it takes about 1 week. If you can get the money out in 1 week, that is fine. The most of the services that get you out of emergency situations, for example, your boiler breaking down, your car breaking down, something like this, the expert will come and do the service and they will give you an invoice and they will tell you that the money is owed within a month. So if it takes 1 week to get out of your ISA, that's absolutely fine. You can get the money, it's liquid enough, it's available enough to you for you to leave that emergency fund growing in your stocks and shares ISA, but it is an emergency fund still. You cannot be withdrawing it to spend on things willy-nilly. It is there for emergencies only. If you lose your job is not safe. It's not 100% safe. Things happen in the background, bigger picture that you cannot see coming, that are out of your control. So you could lose your job at any point. So make sure you have 6 months of emergency fund. £1,000 can be liquid cash. The rest can be in stocks and shares ISA that you can get the money out relatively quickly. Rule number 6 as a certified financial planner, spend your money on experiences and not things. And I tell people this, that I don't really buy myself things. I don't really buy myself clothes. I genuinely wait till my clothes have holes in them before I replace them. I don't really buy things. I do love to buy experiences. If someone offers the opportunity of going somewhere and having an experience, absolutely I will go. If there's a type of food that I've never tried before, or a restaurant, an independent restaurant that I've never tried before, that's a new experience that I want to try, I will go and do it without hesitation. But when I spend money on things, it's really painful for me to spend money on that thing. To scan my card, it hurts me just a little bit inside when I buy things. But when I have experiences, I have no doubt. I say, yes, absolutely, let's do this without delay. So I, as a certified financial planner, will spend my money on new experiences. I personally believe if I went onto Amazon and I bought something off of there, anything, name one thing, try me, that in 10 years, it will have no influence on my life. I probably will not use it anymore. It probably will not bring any value to my life. However, an experience, if I go out into the world and experience something new and it was amazing, I will remember that till the day I die. So rule number 6 is buy experiences and not things. And to go a little bit further on this experience is to spend a little bit more to get a better experience. If you are going to a theme park with roller coasters, buy the fast pass. You can sit there in the queue and think, I would never buy a fast pass. Why would you spend so much extra money on the fast pass? Because they have got limited time in this world. You are spending hours in the queue to go on a ride, but if you spent a little bit more on the fast pass, you could go on more roller coasters. You would have a much more joyful day just because you spent a little bit more money on a fast pass. If you are in Vietnam, for example, and if you try and get this cheapest possible sleeper train so you can journey and travel through Vietnam, and it's the worst possible experience because you are cramped in this tiny little bed that you don't fit in, and all you have to do is spend a little bit more money to get the most advanced luxury sleeper train, your entire experience has changed forever. For the rest of your life, you'll be thinking back on the experience, and if you cheaped out, you will be regretting that experience. And if you spent a little bit more on the luxury accommodation on the sleeper train when you were traveling through Vietnam, you will remember that as a great experience for the rest of your life. So just spending a little bit more for a great experience is another money rule that I follow as a certified financial advisor. If you are liking this type of content on financial freedom, living a rich and fulfilling life, becoming a millionaire, retiring early, watching my monetization on YouTube from the very beginning, then do not forget to hit the like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can be kept up to date on all future videos that I publish. How do I invest? If you've watched my previous videos in the past, you know that I tell you you need to put your money to work. I am actually going to give you my very, very specific investments that I invest in, and it's only 2 when it comes to stocks and shares. It's only 2 investments that I invest my money into. I invest my pension into a global all-world index fund. What I mean by that, it's an index fund that covers the entire world, that only covers equities. It does not cover bonds. It does not diversify out of equities. It stays 100% in equities. It's relatively high risk when it comes to asset diversification, but it's extremely low risk when it comes to equity diversification, as it is diversified all over the world. So my pension is on a global equity fund, 100% equity fund. That is where my pension is invested with Vanguard. So my pension is invested in a global, worldwide, 100% equity index fund on Vanguard. Vanguard are known for their low cost, low fees. So I do like Vanguard. They're tried and tested over many, many years and survived very difficult times. So I do trust that they will be around for the long term. The money in my stocks and shares ISA, the money I put in on a monthly basis, the 44.6% of all I earn that I keep is invested into my ISA, so it is growing tax-free. The platform that I use for my ISA is also Vanguard, so it's in the same place as my pension. So they're right there next to each other. I see them. The money that I put into my ISA on Vanguard is invested in the S&P 500. This is the top 500 companies in America. I invest my money in the top 5 companies in America. Those are the only 2 investments that I hold. In the past, I have held so many other investments that I've come to regret. As humans, we all think that we can beat the market. We can buy one particular stock and think that we can beat the entire market. But eventually you will learn that you can't. Eventually you will learn that this is not true. I've learned that. I have had that education. I have had that learning curve, and I have realized the best thing that you can do is invest for the long term in index funds the S&P 500 and Global All World Index. Rule number 8 on my list that I keep on my phone in my notes and I save to my favorites is to buy quality, maintain it, and run it into the ground. So when it comes to cars, mobile phones, gadgets and devices, I will do my research. I will buy something that is quality and reliable. I will maintain it as much as possible, and I will run it into the ground. If my phone screen breaks, I will go and fix it. If the battery is becoming inefficient, I will go and fix it. I will keep it as long as possible, to the point where if it's that old and there's that many problems and fixing it will cost me more than just replacing it, at that point, I will then go ahead and replace it. The same with my car. If my car goes for an MOT and it's starting to cost too much every single year to fix the vehicle, I will sell it and buy myself a new car. But you must buy yourself a reliable car. For myself, my car is a Lexus. It's an old used Lexus. So around Lexus and Toyota, they're usually the most reliable cars. So buy yourself a reliable vehicle, maintain it the best you can, and run it into the ground. See, so many people have a vehicle that is 3 years old and want to go and replace it and get a new vehicle because it's now too old. This is a habit that can destroy your financial future. If you keep on doing this, you will spend tens or even hundreds of thousands of pounds on interest, just on interest, on a vehicle that you never actually owned. When you have a vehicle, when you're leasing them and things like that, you're never truly the owner because you constantly own money and someone can take that vehicle away from you. You're never truly the owner, and if you do this for the rest of your life, you'll spend tens or even hundreds of thousands of pounds just on interest that brings absolutely no benefit to your life. So make sure you buy used, reliable, maintain it and run it into the ground. Also, to go one further in this particular rule is I pay cash. If I need anything, I'm not borrowing money for it. I'm not paying interest on it. I am paying cash. I know how bad interest can get. It can spiral out of control. Your debt can go from almost nothing to spiraling out of control, and you have no idea why. This is because of interest and its compounding effect. So I do not take out debt. If I need a car, I will pay cash. If I need a phone, I will pay cash. I pay cash for everything that I buy. So I buy used, reliable, I maintain it, and I run it into the ground. Rule number 9 on my money rules that I save in my favorites on my phone is never have any bad debt. Admittedly, I don't need to write this on my phone. I know not to have any bad debt. I will tell you the difference between bad debt and good debt. Good debt is debt that you don't pay yourself, or it can bring more value to you than the money that you've spent. For example, if you are thinking about spending your money on an education, on a particular skill, let's say you want to become a qualified nurse and it's going to cost you £5,000 to become a qualified nurse. It will take you 6 months to go through the course. I don't know how long it takes. It'll take you 6 months to go through the course, but if you become a qualified nurse, you will have £10,000 extra salary than you're on right now. So if you take out a loan of £5,000, become a nurse and make £10,000, that is good debt. The debt has a purpose to make more money come in. This to me is a good debt. So really do your research. Is it really worth it? A lot of qualifications do not actually bring in that much more salary, and they can be a lot more expensive than what I've just said. So weigh up the pros and cons. If it is worth it, if you can see that you will bring that money back easily tenfold in your salary, then that is good debt. Get a loan and pay for your education and get certified as soon as possible so you can start making that extra salary as soon as possible. Another form of good debt is buying a rental property. You can get a mortgage on that rental property. You get a mortgage and you put a tenant in that rental property. The tenant pays off the mortgage and the interest. So another form of good debt is getting a loan and somebody else paying it back. You're not paying it back, somebody else is. In this example, the house itself is an appreciating asset. The value of the house goes up over time. If you have good debt, a mortgage on the house, the tenant is covering the mortgage and the interest, you benefit from the appreciating value of the house. This is another form of good debt. So absolutely, when it comes to good debt, I will take out good debt if I see that it has a benefit on my life. However, I will not touch bad debt. No way, absolutely not. I will not touch it, not one bit. Bad debt is the debt that you probably know. You use debt to buy something. That something doesn't really add that much value into your life. It doesn't create an income stream into your life. It doesn't allow someone else to pay for it. For example, you want to buy a handbag, or you want to buy some shoes, or you want to buy a car. These are the things, these are the types of debts. These are bad debts. You have to pay them off. You are stealing from your future. When you have bad debt, you are borrowing from your future self so you can benefit today. You are benefiting today, but you in future will suffer because of it. We want to delay our gratification, delay the gratification, suffer now so we can benefit in future, so we can be happier in future. You got to lay the groundwork. Freedom isn't free, my friends. Freedom is not free. We have to delay that gratification. We have to get through the tough time and buy out our freedom, buy our way out of this slavery. We have to buy our freedom. So delay that gratification so you can become financially free, financially independent, retire early and rich, and live a rich and fulfilling life. Rule number 10 on my list, on my favorites on my phone, is to pay myself first. I know this, I've repeated this so many times that it is embedded into my brain. Anyone who wants to challenge me on paying myself first and investing my money first, when I get the money, the first thing that I spend the money on is in my savings and investment. My money, paying yourself first. Over the years, I've told people this. They have challenged me, but you cannot take away my belief. The reason why, because I have put it into practice. And when I say when you pay yourself first is different than when you pay yourself at the end of the month, I've seen the human brain. The human brain gets to the end of the month and will spend everything. The human brain is conditioned throughout the month to know how much money you have left in your bank account and make sure that you spend it all. But if you pay yourself first, I didn't truly believe this at first either, so if you don't believe it right now, that's fine. Just experiment. I experimented on it and I saved, and for the very first time I saved 10% of all I earned was mine to keep, and I paid myself first. And instantly I was thinking, oh no, this is going to be tough. This is going to be really hard. And at the end of the month, I didn't actually notice it was gone. It's a human brain phenomenon. Your brain continually conditions itself to know how much money you have got left. So if you put the money away at the start of the month, your subconscious brain will adjust and adapt throughout the month, and you won't actually notice that that money is gone. If you do not believe me, and I know that you won't, because I didn't believe it when I first heard that, if you do not believe me, just try it just once. Just once. You don't have to commit to it forever. And if you get to the end of the first month and did not notice it was gone, leave a comment in the description below and say, wow, I couldn't believe I did not notice that my money had gone. And when you do that, you'll realize that you can make that commitment for the rest of your life. And so that is number 10. Those are the 10 money rules that I have as a certified financial advisor. These are the money rules that I've saved into my favorites on my phone. I don't even look at them, to be fair, because they're so embedded into the wiring of my brain that I don't actually need to look at them anymore. However, they still are there in my favorites on my mobile phone. I follow these 10 rules as principle in my life. No one can challenge me and take me away from these principles. Do you follow your own money rules? Please let me know your money rules in the description below. I'd love to see if your money rules are different to mine. Can't wait to see them. If you've got any other video ideas that you would like to see in this particular niche, please let me know on the types of videos that you would like to see in the comments below. I make a list, I respond to these, I make a list, and I will make videos on that topic. All you need to do is leave a comment in the description below, and a video will be coming soon on that topic. Now you know all my money rules as a certified financial advisor. You may also be interested to know the hidden truths about money and how to build wealth from nothing. So click on this video right here. I'm sure you're going to enjoy that video.